Imagine discovering that seemingly harmless snack you always have on hand, the one that goes with your coffee, the one that helps satisfy your sweet tooth, could be silently undermining your health. Peanuts, so popular among those seeking convenience and flavor, may be hiding risks that almost no one talks about, especially for those over 60. For years, they were considered a superfood, rich in protein, a source of quick energy, and packed with healthy fats. But what few realize is that the way they are grown, stored, and consumed makes all the difference between a heart ally and an invisible enemy of the liver, joints, and even skin, gradually compromising vitality. Have you ever wondered why some people feel more bloated, tired, or inflamed after eating peanuts, even without realizing the food is the culprit? The truth is, after 60, our bodies change. Digestion slows, metabolism adjusts, and the body begins to react differently to certain substances. What was neutral in our 30s can become irritating in our 70s. And that's exactly where peanuts come in, a food that can be both medicine and poison, depending on how it's chosen and prepared, oscillating between benefit and invisible risk. In the next few minutes, you'll understand why so many longevity experts warn about the peanut effect, a set of simple, everyday mistakes that can silently sabotage your energy, immunity, and even memory. These mistakes are so common that even those who consider themselves cautious fall into them without realizing it. From relying too heavily on processed foods to overdoing it, ignoring mild allergies, or choosing the wrong versions, each of these slip-ups has specific consequences. And worse, they accumulate over time, like small cracks that weaken the structure of a house, undermining the foundations of health. But don't worry, the goal here isn't to create fear. It's to create awareness. Because, just as peanuts can be a problem when used incorrectly, they can also become a true natural shield when consumed wisely. Understanding this is the first step to activating your body's natural defenses and keeping your metabolism running like clockwork, allowing vitality to flourish naturally. This video will show you the 6 most dangerous mistakes most people make when consuming peanuts. And, more importantly, how to avoid them to continue enjoying their benefits without putting your health at risk. Because aging well isn't about eliminating foods, but knowing how to use them to your advantage, transforming nutrition into daily preventative medicine. If you're interested in living longer and better, with energy, clarity, and vitality, this is the right place. Here, we talk about how to use food as medicine, without complications, based on science translated into everyday life. So, before we continue, take advantage and subscribe to the channel. This way, you'll learn how to protect your body with reliable information and, in addition, activate the body's natural defenses. Because the right knowledge can be the best supplement there is, strengthening body and mind. Now, brace yourself, the first mistake on the list is the root of almost all peanut-related problems, and it could be lurking in your cupboard without you even knowing, creating a silent risk. The first mistake starts before the peanuts even reach your plate, trusting any product that appears fresh or natural. Most people don't realize that peanuts are one of the foods most susceptible to fungal contamination, especially when stored improperly. These fungi produce substances called aflatoxins, invisible, odorless, and extremely dangerous. These toxins are recognized by science as potentially carcinogenic, with direct effects on the liver and immune system. In older people, whose livers already function more slowly, the impact can be even more severe, compromising natural toxin filtration. The problem is, you don't need to see mold to be at risk. Aflatoxins form in warm, humid conditions, and even a small contaminated batch can compromise an entire harvest. And there's no point in roasting peanuts thinking the heat will destroy these toxins, they're resistant to high temperatures. The result is that, unknowingly, many people daily consume small doses of a substance that silently accumulates in the body over time, creating invisible liver overload. The good news is that there are simple ways to protect yourself. The first step is knowing where your peanuts come from. Products sold in bulk, without clear identification, may have spent weeks in damp bags in poorly ventilated warehouses. Choose reputable brands that guarantee traceable origins and quality control seals. And if the price seems too good to be true, be wary, cheap can be expensive, especially when your health is at stake, compromising longevity. Another crucial point is home storage. Peanuts, whether raw or roasted, should be stored in tightly closed containers.
Away from light and moisture. Don't leave them open on the table or in reused bags. A small oversight can be the perfect invitation for mold to multiply. And whenever you smell a rancid, bitter, or strange odor, discard them without a second thought. It's better to throw away a handful of peanuts than to compromise your natural defenses, protecting your liver and immunity. The liver is the body's filter. It processes toxins, metabolizes fats, and regulates the energy you use to live. When overloaded by substances like aflatoxins, it works at its limit, and this constant strain can open the door to silent inflammation, allergies, and unexplained fatigue. That's why healthy aging experts insist. Protecting your liver means protecting your longevity by ensuring optimal filtration. So before you open that seemingly harmless package, remember, quality is everything. The right peanuts can help balance cholesterol, control appetite, and even promote brain health. But the wrong peanuts can slowly erode the foundations of your vitality. And this is just the first mistake on the list. The second is so common that even those who consider themselves disciplined make it, and the body quickly feels the consequences, even without realizing it, creating progressive metabolic imbalance. The second mistake is the easiest to make and the hardest to spot: overdoing it. Peanuts are energy-dense. A small serving fits in the palm of your hand, but they contain more calories than a plate of light food. For those trying to control their weight, reduce inflammation, or maintain balanced blood sugar levels, this can be a silent trap. The bodies of people over 60 process fats and sugars differently. Metabolism slows, insulin sensitivity changes, and the tendency to accumulate visceral fat increases. This means that what was once just a healthy snack can become fuel for increased waist circumference and insulin resistance, two conditions strongly linked to cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes, gradually undermining health. Furthermore, peanuts are rich in polyunsaturated fats. In small amounts, they help the heart, but in excess, especially when the body is inflamed, they can generate imbalances in cell membranes and oxidize more easily. The result is an often invisible internal inflammatory process that manifests gradually: morning stiffness, joint pain, persistent fatigue, light sleep, and irritability. These are subtle signals the body sends when it's trying to deal with more fat than it can metabolize, calling for help through diffuse symptoms. A common mistake is to think, but it's natural, so I can eat it as much as I want. This mentality is the same one that leads many people to overconsume nuts, olive oil, or avocados, all beneficial foods, but they require balance. The key is dosage. For most people, about 20 to 30 grams of peanuts per day, the equivalent of a small handful, is enough to obtain nutrients without overloading the body. Above that, the scale begins to tip toward risk, creating an invisible calorie overload. Another detail few people remember: peanuts are usually eaten as a snack and rarely on their own. They're usually accompanied by beer, soda, or candy. This combination raises the glycemic index, intensifies fluid retention, and prevents the body from burning fat efficiently. Therefore, the problem isn't always with the peanut itself, but with the entire dietary context surrounding it, creating an unfavorable metabolic environment. To maintain balance, it's worth getting into the habit of measuring portions before eating. Pouring directly from a jar or bowl is asking for you to lose count. Use small containers and consume mindfully. Chew slowly, savor the flavor, and notice when your body signals fullness. This simple gesture reduces calorie intake, improves digestion, and helps you focus on the quality of the food, transforming a rote act into a mindful practice. Eating mindfully is one of the most powerful skills for those who want to age well. Haste and excess are enemies of vitality. And when it comes to peanuts, the line between benefit and harm is thinner than it seems. In the next few minutes, you'll understand that the body doesn't always react predictably, and that there's a third, even more insidious mistake, capable of causing inflammation and discomfort even in those who think they're allergy-free, creating subtle but persistent reactions. The third mistake is ignoring late-onset allergies and sensitivities. Many people believe that food allergies only occur in childhood or manifest dramatically, with itching, swelling, or difficulty breathing. But the body changes over time. After 60, the immune system undergoes a kind of re-education, becoming less efficient in some defenses and more reactive in others. This means that someone who has always eaten peanuts without problems may suddenly begin experiencing subtle,
unnoticed symptoms that are actually signs of intolerance or inflammation, manifesting gradually. These reactions can manifest in unexpected ways: a feeling of heaviness after eating, excessive gas, frequent heartburn, unexplained joint pain, skin rashes, an itchy scalp, small mouth ulcers, even mental fatigue or insomnia. These are diffuse symptoms often attributed to age, stress, or the weather, but they can indicate an inflammatory response to a specific food. Peanuts, because they contain certain difficult-to-digest proteins and are a potential natural allergen, are among the prime suspects when these reactions appear, creating invisible systemic inflammation. Science calls this delayed food intolerance, a slower immune response mediated by other types of antibodies that can take hours or even days to manifest. The problem is that when the reaction isn't immediate, it's harder to understand the cause and effect relationship. Therefore, many people live with daily discomfort without realizing that the small handful of peanuts eaten every afternoon may be contributing to their discomfort, progressively weakening their natural defenses. To determine if this is your case, the best thing to do is to carefully observe your body. Take a short personal test, eliminate peanuts and peanut-based products for a week or two and see if you notice any improvement in sleep, digestion, or muscle pain. If you feel a difference, your body is giving you a clue. It's not necessary to eliminate them forever. The goal is to understand your own limits. Each body has a unique way of reacting, and the key is to respect it, creating internal harmony. Ignoring these signs is like driving with a warning light on the dashboard and pretending not to see it. Gradually, the immune system enters a state of constant vigilance, producing small inflammations that drain energy and age the body from the inside out. When this happens, even healthy foods lose their nutritional value because the body is too busy trying to defend itself, wasting precious resources on internal battles. Peanuts can be a valuable source of protein and minerals, but only if the body recognizes them as an ally, not an invader. Knowing how to listen to your body is one of the most important skills for those seeking longevity and vitality. After all, the body speaks, sometimes in whispers, sometimes in shouts, and learning to listen is the first step to living longer and better, transforming signals into practical wisdom. Now that you understand the importance of respecting your body's signals, it's time to address another, even more insidious mistake. One that fools even those who think they read labels carefully and always choose the healthiest product, relying on misleading marketing. The fourth mistake is trusting processed versions. Just walk through a supermarket and you'll see, the shelves are full of peanut butters, energy bars, and healthy snacks, all promising energy, protein, and healthy fats. The packaging boasts words like zero sugar, natural, whole, and 100% peanut. But when you read the label carefully, what you usually find is a veritable additive laboratory. Hidden sugars, refined vegetable oils, stabilizers, and preservatives combine to create a creamy texture and irresistible flavor, at the expense of your health, transforming food into a chemical product. The problem is that the body doesn't understand advertising labels. It reacts to the real chemistry of what we ingest. And when peanuts are combined with sugar or harmful oils, they lose almost all of their beneficial potential. Sugar causes glucose spikes and inflammation, while refined oils, such as palm, canola, or soybean, unbalance the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, fueling chronic inflammatory processes. This combination is one of the most harmful for those seeking to age gracefully, as it attacks the pillars of vitality, circulation, energy, and immunity, compromising vital systems. Peanut butter, for example, is often used by people looking to gain muscle mass or replace desserts. But few realize that many versions contain almost the same amount of sugar as traditional chocolate hazelnut spread. And even natural versions can contain excess sodium or hydrogenated fat to maintain their texture for longer. The result? A product that appears healthy but silently works against hormonal and cardiovascular balance, gradually undermining health. Yes, there is a way to enjoy peanut butter safely. Choose products with only one ingredient, peanuts themselves. Nothing else. No sweeteners, no salt, no added oils. This type of product can be a good ally, as long as consumed in moderation and stored correctly. A simple tip is to observe whether the natural peanut oil separates on the surface of the jar. This is a sign that the product is truly pure, without chemical additives. Another common pitfall is roasted peanut snacks. Many are fried in old oil, coated with excessive salt, or coated with gluten to add crunch. This turns an otherwise nutritious food into an inflammatory snack. And for those with high blood pressure, a sensitive liver, or a tendency to retain fluids, the impact is immediate: bloating, fatigue, and a feeling of heaviness after eating, signs of metabolic overload. That's why the secret lies in simplicity. The fewer ingredients, the better. Good peanuts, unsalted, roasted, homegrown, or purchased from a reliable source, provide good fats, magnesium, and antioxidants that help the brain and heart. Processed versions, full of artificial flavors, deceive the palate and confuse the body, creating chemical dependency. Knowing how to identify these details is what separates those who simply follow dietary trends from those who truly practice a conscious lifestyle. And for those seeking vitality after 60, consciousness is the most powerful nutrient of all. This next mistake shows precisely what happens when the balance between fat types is lost, and why this can accelerate aging even in those who eat well, creating hidden inflammation. The fifth mistake is forgetting about fat balance. Peanuts are rich in omega-6, an essential fat, but it becomes harmful when consumed in excess and without enough omega-3 to balance the system. This imbalance is one of the main triggers of silent inflammation, the kind that doesn't cause immediate pain but weakens the body over the years. It's inflammation that underlies chronic diseases like arthritis, hypertension, diabetes, and even cognitive decline. And what many people don't realize is that peanuts, when they appear every day on the menu, can contribute to this imbalance, fueling invisible systemic inflammation. Our bodies were designed to maintain a natural ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. Previously, this ratio was close to 2 to 1. Today, due to processed foods and high consumption of vegetable oils, it reaches 15 to 1, or even higher. This means the body is constantly on alert, producing inflammatory substances that damage cells and accelerate aging. And peanuts, despite being a natural food, are part of this equation, contributing to lipid imbalances. But there's good news: it's possible to correct this imbalance without sacrificing flavor. The secret lies in smart combinations. If you consume peanuts, balance them with omega-3 sources such as fatty fish, sardines, wild salmon, chia, flaxseed, and walnuts. A spoonful of chia seeds at breakfast or a serving of sardines twice a week makes a difference. The body doesn't need much, it needs harmony, creating a natural anti-inflammatory environment. Another important point is the preparation method. When peanuts are fried or exposed to high temperatures, their fats oxidize, forming free radicals. These compounds damage cells and accelerate tissue deterioration. Choose peanuts roasted in the oven at a moderate temperature, or raw if possible, always following hygiene and storage guidelines. This way, you preserve their antioxidant potential and avoid turning a healthy food into an inflammation trigger, protecting cells. There's also an emotional factor involved. Many associate peanuts with comfort, pleasure, and leisure, and that's great. But it's important to remember that eating is both a biological and emotional act. When we balance our mind and body, our choices become more conscious. An inflamed body tends to crave more inflammatory foods, as if trapped in a vicious cycle. Breaking this cycle requires awareness and small daily decisions, transforming an automatic habit into an intentional choice. And here's a thought: where are you watching from now? How do peanuts figure into your routine? A quick snack, a long-standing habit, a family tradition? Share in the comments. Each story helps others understand that health is a collective journey, built step by step, choice by choice, strengthening a conscious community. When we learn to balance good fats, we not only protect our hearts but also improve our mood, memory, and energy. The balance between omega-6 and omega-3 is like tuning an instrument. When it's right, the body works in harmony. But when you lose the rhythm, everything starts to go out of tune. And this imbalance can have an even greater impact on one of the body's most vital organs, the heart. This is what we'll discuss next, revealing a profound connection. The sixth mistake is underestimating the impact of peanuts on heart health. Many believe that because peanuts contain good fats, they are automatically beneficial for the cardiovascular system. But this isn't always true. The problem lies in how they're prepared and consumed. Peanuts fried in vegetable oil, coated with salt or sugar, become an inflammatory bomb that overloads the arteries. And for those who already have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or a family history of heart disease, this type of mistake can be costly, gradually compromising circulation. Sodium, found in salty snacks and ready-made snacks, is one of the main enemies of cardiovascular longevity. It retains fluids, raises blood pressure, and forces the heart to work at an accelerated pace. Over time, this constant effort damages blood vessel walls and contributes to the accumulation of fatty plaques. Even those who think they use little salt in their food may be consuming dangerous doses just from seemingly harmless snacks. A handful of salted peanuts, for example, can contain more sodium than an entire meal, creating an invisible cardiovascular overload. Another villain in disguise is caramelized, sweetened, or chocolate-covered peanuts. Sugar, when consumed in excess, causes glucose spikes that oxidize LDL cholesterol particles, making them more likely to deposit in the arteries. This process accelerates atherosclerosis, the hardening of the arteries, and increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. The problem isn't the peanut itself, but the layers we add to it, turning a natural food into a metabolic trap. To protect your heart, the key is to choose simple, natural, and moderate versions. Oven-roasted peanuts, unsalted and unsweetened, are the most beneficial. They provide magnesium, vitamin E, and antioxidants that help reduce bad cholesterol and improve blood flow. However, even this version should be consumed responsibly. Eating large amounts, believing you're taking care of yourself, has the opposite effect: excess calories, weight gain, and metabolic imbalance, undermining cardiovascular health. It's important to remember that the heart responds not only to what we eat, but also to how we live. Stress, a sedentary lifestyle, and irregular sleep patterns amplify the impact of dietary mistakes. Therefore, by adjusting small habits, walking more, sleeping better, reducing salt intake, and choosing quality peanuts, you help your body recover and strengthen its natural defenses, creating a virtuous cycle of health. Aging with a healthy heart doesn't depend on major revolutions, but on daily consistency. It's understanding that every choice counts and that details shape the future. Peanuts can be an ally of the heart when treated with respect. But when momentary pleasure overrides conscience, they become a silent traitor, progressively compromising vitality. After understanding these 6 mistakes, comes the most important part: learning how to transform peanuts into true health allies. Knowing how much, when, and how to consume them makes all the difference between benefits and risks. This is what we'll see next: how the same food that can cause inflammation can also protect, if used wisely, transforming knowledge into power. Now that you know the 6 most common mistakes, it's time to look at the other side of the coin: how to turn peanuts into a true ally for your health. The difference between medicine and poison lies in the dose, quality, and context. Peanuts, when well chosen and consumed in moderation, can help control appetite, stabilize blood sugar, and protect the heart. They are a source of healthy fats, plant-based proteins, magnesium, and antioxidants, all essential for those seeking to age with energy and clarity, strengthening vital systems. The first rule is simple: always choose natural peanuts. Choose raw or roasted peanuts without added salt, sugar, or oil. Check the color and aroma. The smell should be mild, and the kernel should be uniform. Store in tightly sealed glass or metal jars, away from moisture. And remember, peanuts should not be exposed to heat, as this facilitates the formation of mold and the oxidation of fats, compromising nutritional quality. The second rule is to respect the portion. A small handful, 20 to 30 grams per day, is ideal to obtain the benefits without overloading your metabolism. If you want to include it in your daily diet, consume it at strategic times, mid-morning, along with a fiber-rich fruit, or as part of a meal with protein and vegetables. This helps reduce the glycemic index and increases the feeling of fullness, naturally controlling hunger. Another powerful tip is to combine peanuts with natural antioxidants. Berries, pure cocoa, and green tea enhance the protective effects and help combat cellular oxidation. For example, a spoonful of natural peanut butter with strawberries or blueberries is a balanced snack that provides energy, flavor, and protection, creating a nutritional synergy. The secret is to think about balance, not prohibition. No one needs to completely eliminate a traditional food, but rather learn to use it consciously. It's like medicine: in the right dose, it heals; in excess, it causes illness. When you consume peanuts wisely, you're strengthening your body instead of weakening it. You're activating internal defense mechanisms, antioxidants, protective enzymes, and a more efficient metabolism, creating biological harmony. Furthermore, there are emotional benefits. By transforming eating habits with understanding, not fear, the body responds better. Pleasure remains present, but with lightness and awareness. Eating well shouldn't be a punishment, but rather a gesture of self-care. Each conscious choice sends a clear message to the body: I'm taking care of you, strengthening your daily vitality. Adopting this approach changes everything. Instead of following rigid rules, you learn to listen to your body's signals and adjust as needed. This is how peanuts stop being a villain and become another ally in your longevity arsenal. And this wisdom applies to all foods. In the next few minutes, we'll see what science really says about this grain, because understanding the scientific basis is what separates fads from choices that truly transform health, building solid knowledge. When it comes to peanuts, science has a lot to say, and not everything is as advertised. Several studies show that, in small quantities and when sourced from a good source, peanuts can indeed offer important benefits. They contain resveratrol, the same antioxidant found in red wine, known to protect cells against premature aging. They also provide magnesium, which helps muscle function and blood pressure regulation, as well as monounsaturated fats, which contribute to cholesterol balance. However, all these positive effects only appear when consumed in moderation and the food is not contaminated or overly processed, respecting nutritional quality. Research from North American and Asian universities shows a clear pattern: natural peanuts, consumed sparingly, are associated with a lower risk of heart disease. But the same studies also offer an important warning: when there is excess or the presence of additives, the effect is reversed. This is because the body reacts not only to individual nutrients, but to the diet as a whole and the way the food was processed. A simple difference in preparation can determine whether the body responds with protection or inflammation, demonstrating the power of context. An interesting detail is that peanuts, despite being a legume, have a metabolic behavior similar to that of other nuts, such as walnuts and chestnuts. This explains why they can help with satiety and appetite reduction, but also why it's so easy to overdo it. A small handful provides enough energy for an hour of light walking. When consumption exceeds this, the body stores the excess as fat. And, contrary to popular belief, good fats can also cause weight gain when consumed in excess, challenging nutritional myths. Another point that science has revealed is the role of peanuts in brain health. Their antioxidants help combat oxidative stress, one of the factors linked to memory loss and cognitive decline in the elderly. However, these benefits only appear when there is overall balance in the diet. There's no point in relying on one food in isolation and expecting miraculous results. The brain and body work together, and each choice influences the other, creating an integrated health network. Modern research also confirms something that conventional wisdom already intuited: food can be medicine, but only when used consciously. What differentiates an anti-inflammatory diet from a conventional diet is not just what you eat, but how you combine it, prepare it, and respect your body. Eating mindfully, chewing slowly, and choosing real products are practices that amplify the positive effects of any food, including peanuts, transforming nutrition into healing. Therefore, understanding the scientific basis is essential. Science isn't meant to scare, but to liberate. It shows that there is no absolute villain, only imbalance. And when we learn to find the right balance, the body responds with vitality, energy, and mental clarity. This knowledge is the bridge between fear and the power of choice. And it is precisely this listening that allows us to perceive the signals the body sends, the silent warnings that alert us when something is out of order, even before a test reveals it, creating active prevention. The body speaks before disease appears, and learning to listen to it is one of the most effective forms of prevention. Many ignore subtle signs that appear after excessive consumption of peanuts or processed peanuts, believing them to be merely signs of aging. But the body is an attentive messenger. It warns through small changes: sudden bloating, a feeling of heaviness in the stomach, unusual fatigue, unexplained joint pain, excessive gas, irritated skin, small mouth ulcers, and even mild mood swings. These are silent warnings that something is not being well tolerated, calling for immediate adjustments. After 60, our metabolism becomes more sensitive. The liver, which filters everything we eat, works at a slower pace, and the intestine needs a balance of good bacteria and adequate fiber to function properly. When peanuts are consumed in excess, contaminated, fried, or sugary, they upset this balance. The liver becomes overloaded, the intestine becomes inflamed, and the immune system reacts with minor inflammation. The result is a diffuse feeling of malaise that many call the age blues, but which is actually the body's call for rest and adjustment, asking for conscious attention. The key is to observe patterns. If after eating peanuts or products containing them you notice discomfort, heartburn, itching, or restless sleep, it's worth taking a break for a few days and observing the difference. This simple action reveals a lot about what your body tolerates and what it doesn't. Sometimes the problem isn't the food itself, but the context: eating late at night, chewing quickly, or combining it with alcoholic beverages or ultra-processed foods, creating digestive overload. Another important warning sign is the skin. The body uses the skin as a way to expel toxins when the liver and intestines are overloaded. Small rashes, redness, itching, or dryness can indicate that something isn't being metabolized properly. The same goes for the mind. Mental confusion, irritability, and difficulty concentrating can be signs of mild intestinal inflammation, often triggered by dietary errors, demonstrating a mind-body connection. The good news is that the body also shows signs of improvement quickly when corrections are made. In just a few days of a clean, hydrated diet with fresh fruits, vegetables, and anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric, ginger, and extra virgin olive oil, you'll notice increased energy, deep sleep, and mental clarity. The body has an incredible capacity for regeneration, as long as it allows time to rest and restore balance, activating natural healing. Listening to these signals is an act of biological intelligence. Instead of reacting only when a disease arises, you learn to prevent it in advance. This is the principle of the 5 natural defenses: strengthening the liver, protecting the intestine, balancing metabolism, nourishing cells, and reducing inflammation. Peanuts can support some of these defenses, but only if used consciously and within a consistent lifestyle, creating systemic harmony. Recognizing your body's warning signs is what separates normal aging from healthy aging. It's what allows you to maintain energy, clarity, and vitality for longer. And when this understanding becomes daily practice, knowledge becomes power. In the next section, we'll transform everything you've learned so far into a practical guide, simple, applicable, and effective for everyday life, translating science into action. The time has come to turn knowledge into practice. After understanding your body's mistakes and signals, it's time to create a simple plan to consume peanuts safely, in a balanced and intelligent way. The goal isn't to create restrictions, but to adopt a conscious eating style that strengthens your natural defenses. The secret lies in small, consistent actions, those that seem too simple to make a difference, but which, when practiced daily, can change the course of your health, building progressive vitality. First, choose your source wisely. Opt for raw or oven-roasted peanuts from reputable brands with clear labels and no additives. Avoid bulk products and packaging with visible moisture. Always store in tightly closed containers, away from light, in a cool place. This basic precaution eliminates most contamination risks, protecting your liver and immune system. Second, plan the amount. A handful, equivalent to 2 heaping tablespoons, is ideal. Place the portion in a container before eating. This prevents automatic consumption and resulting in excess calories. If you want to include it in your routine, use it as a supplement, not as a standalone snack. Mix it with fruit or unsweetened plain yogurt. This way, the fiber and antioxidants in the fruit balance the fat and glycemic index, creating nutritional synergy. Third, maintain a balance of good fats. If you eat peanuts frequently, add sources of omega-3 to your diet: flaxseed, chia, sardines, salmon, or walnuts. This simple combination reduces inflammation and protects the heart. The body needs both variety and moderation, and both work together to keep your cells in harmony, strengthening natural defenses. Fourth, respect your body's signals. If you experience heartburn, discomfort, or fatigue after eating, reduce the frequency. No food should cause discomfort. Ideal nutrition is one that generates energy, not weight. Taking short breaks and observing your body's reaction is a powerful form of self-awareness, creating a conscious internal dialogue. Fifth, keep it simple. Avoid versions with salt, sugar, or coating. Plain peanuts have enough flavor on their own, and your body will thank you for the lack of additives. For a different twist, sprinkle cinnamon or cocoa powder over the roasted peanuts, both natural antioxidants that enhance flavor and protect cells, adding extra nutrition. Finally, remember that what truly sustains health is a set of habits, not a single food. Walking, sleeping well, keeping a calm mind, and staying hydrated are just as important as choosing what goes on your plate wisely. Eating well is just one way to take care of yourself, but it's one of the most powerful, transforming food into daily medicine. And if this content helped you see peanuts in a different light, share it with someone who loves the snack and may not know the necessary precautions. Small pieces of information can change big health trajectories. Sometimes, a simple video is the turning point that prevents months of discomfort and silent illness, multiplying collective well-being. Because health isn't about luck, it's about choice, attention, and consistency. And knowledge, when shared, multiplies protection. In the next and final section, we'll close this guide with a message of motivation and purpose, how to transform this awareness into a new lifestyle that values the body as our greatest asset, celebrating lasting vitality. Getting here is more than just learning about a food, it's understanding the power of choice. Peanuts were just one example, a symbol of something much greater, the difference between living on autopilot and living consciously. The human body is an extraordinary machine, capable of regenerating, adapting, and flourishing at any age, as long as it receives the right stimuli. When you understand how food works within you, you gain control over what once seemed inevitable: fatigue, pain, sluggishness. Everything changes when intention becomes routine, transforming habit into healing. Aging healthily isn't about eliminating pleasure, but about choosing wisely. Every small gesture, from storing food better to observing how your body reacts, is a form of self-respect. Modern science confirms what ancient wisdom has always taught: balance is the key to vitality. And when your diet aligns with your purpose of living well, your body responds with energy, clarity, and serenity, creating profound harmony. Remember, your 5 natural defenses: immunity, circulation, cell regeneration, hormonal balance, and inflammatory control don't depend on expensive products, but on conscious habits. Getting enough sleep, staying active, drinking water, laughing more, and eating naturally are the most powerful weapons against premature aging. Peanuts, when consumed with respect and balance, can even help these defenses, but when used inappropriately, they can do the opposite. It's proof that health is in the details, revealing the power of small choices. Every meal is an opportunity to rebuild your body. What you choose to put on your plate today will nourish your cells tomorrow. So treat nutrition as an act of love, not an obligation. Love your body enough not to give it what weakens it. Choose real, simple, living foods. The rewards will come in the form of energy, clarity, and years of quality life, celebrating conscious longevity. And if this content resonated with you and helped you see nutrition in a new light, subscribe to the channel. Here, each week is an opportunity to discover how to strengthen your body's natural defenses and reverse what many call signs of aging. Together, we can transform information into action and prevention into a lifestyle, building a healthy community. Health isn't achieved overnight, it's cultivated, like a plant that grows silently when well cared for. And the first step has been taken: awareness. Continue walking lightly, with curiosity, and with respect for your own body. Because the best way to live well is to understand that aging isn't about losing strength, it's about learning to use it wisely, celebrating each day with gratitude. And be prepared, there are other foods that seem harmless but hide similar traps to peanuts. In the next video, you'll discover which of them may be silently accelerating aging, and how to turn them into another powerful weapon in your vitality journey by continuing your conscious learning.